Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never. I'm Auntie AK, the auntie of all aunties, and I'm here with...
I'm FARRAH, your resident Caribbean queen.
I'm Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And I'm all things sugar and shade, Sade.
Hey! Welcome, guys. Coming up in today's show, as usual, we have Enemy of Progress, we have Welcome to the Family, and we'll be getting into your dilemmas with Aunties Know Best. Guys, we have a request for you. Every week we have a request for you. What do you need to do? You need to sign up to our YouTube membership. We have, how many members do we have now?
We are in the 20s now.
We're in the 20s.
Yes.
We're in the
Wow.
20s. Guys, you see those 20 people, what they did was look at the price, which is
$1.99.
Just $1.99.
50p a week.
Cheaper than a bag of chips.
Darling.
So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, it's a very important thing you must do.
You've got to boop the like button, 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 boop the like button.
Boop it.
No, we spoke about that last week.
Guys, so don't forget to book the like button, subscribe, share, and also guys listening on the airwaves, the podcast platforms, we like reviews, we like comments, we like celebration, we like being told that we're the best, and we only appreciate
We only want 5 stars, guys. If it's not 5 stars, then we don't want it. Okay?
return to sender. Please. All right, guys, let's get into it. A lot has been happening this week. Happy Pride Month. It's also Men's Mental Health Month.
Yes.
And Black Music Month. A lot of things are going on this month.
Yes.
So welcome and happy, and hope you're all doing well. And
Juneteenth.
Yes.
and it's Juneteenth today.
Yes.
It is.
Happy
Indeed.
Juneteenth to our American cousins.
There should be a Juneteenth song.
There should be.
There
There
is.
probably
They're
is.
not like us. They're
Yeah,
not like us.
it's true. Yes, we got Kendrick. All right, guys. So other stuff that's been happening. On a serious note, love and condolences to the family, friends, and fans of former Arsenal and Everton striker turned sports broadcaster Kevin Campbell, who died at the age of 54 after a short illness. Also, this past week it's been the biannual Remembrance Walk, which took place last year. Sorry, my bad. The biannual Remembrance Walk took place this year to honour the 72 lives lost in the Grenfell fire.
Well, it was the anniversary of the fire.
Thank you.
So, yes,
Yes.
that's what it was. And
Yeah.
as part of the anniversary, they have a walk.
Thank you.
Which they do every year.
My notes were
And
ridiculous.
it's 7
Thank you.
years of no charges filed,
Yep.
no one sacked, no one, no money given to the people that
Yeah.
survived.
Yeah.
And they're still saying it will be another year or so before the case is actually
Apparently the inquiry
reviewed.
results of the reports coming at the end of this year, like in September, autumn. So they're saying Kensington and Chelsea being the borough who have not been held properly
And there are still
accountable.
thousands of properties that have the same cladding
Yeah.
that Grenfell had.
And
Yeah.
the building is still, I don't know what they're doing with the building. It's still got the cover on it and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, that could have actually been a close enemy of progress.
They are.
Another lot who deserve to be in the bin. The detectives involved in the Stephen Lawrence case will not be prosecuted. That was announced this week.
Not surprised.
I'm not surprised at
Yeah.
all.
What we on? Is it 30 years?
I mean,
Yeah.
that
not surprised.
exactly that. It's like, what do we say? What do we do here?
It's all right, they're going to burn in hell.
There's that. I mean, yeah.
They will.
I mean, yeah. On a lighter note, a man said he's suing Apple after his wife found supposed to have been deleted text that showed he was a serial cheater. She filed for divorce. Man's vexed, so he's suing Apple.
Imagine.
Do you know how
No,
many
do you know
people
what?
get
Yeah,
caught on
I
the
wish-
cloud?
I wish we had I wish we discussed this. That I think he's right.
Ooh,
I do.
there is a case there, but yeah.
In the comments, share what you think.
Oh, that's like. Do you remember that app, the website that used to do the dating for the married people? And they did it.
Yes.
There's a documentary about it.
Madison.
That's it. Ashley
Yeah,
Madison.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a documentary about it on Netflix at the moment, and it's
Yeah.
basically like people sue them because
Yeah.
all their
yeah.
shit got leaked.
Well,
Yeah.
There's
So
a
they
case
should.
there.
Yeah.
There's a case.
He could win.
Let's see what happens. Jay-Z gets criticised for performing at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame event to an audience of uninterested white folks and not any of the Hip Hop at 50
Yeah,
celebrations of
rightly
last
so.
year. Him and Alicia Keys also performed at the Tonys. People were requesting and pissed and sad that Little Mama didn't do a pop-up.
Why did they perform at the Tonys?
I don't know.
Because I
haven't-
was like, what's
why?
the reference?
But I don't know
with
if
the
one of the
Tonys?
plays has New Empire State of Mind in it. I have no New York State of Mind or Empire State of Mind. What's
Empire
it called?
State.
Yeah, I have no idea. But it.
Hasn't she? I thought she had done something. She's done something
Alicia
recently.
Keys?
Yeah, she's got like musical something.
always doing
Maybe there's a
Moment.
reason.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're right. She was awarded something quite big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to do
no.
with theatre.
I can't remember,
she
but it
has
was
done
something
something,
huge, and
yeah.
she had a picture, and it was like, where else can I go, type of thing. Like, she,
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's
I don't
fine.
care
I
about
mean,
her enough.
That's why I said
to-
No, I mean,
I
I-
actually do not care.
I
Yeah.
don't
The most
mind.
interesting thing about Alicia Keys is that her child's name is Egypt as well, and I didn't know that until well after I named my own.
And on final news, Kate Middleton has finally shown her face at Trooping the Colour. Questions are, is it really her though?
she's got a new face.
Got a new face.
It was so random, and people are like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy she's so well."
Because she's got a new
Okay.
face. That's why she looks so well.
Has she got a new face?
Yes, they're saying that she's got a new
Allegedly, or-
allegedly, side by side. The last time she was seen to now that she's been seen, apparently there's lots of like no lines, facelift.
Maybe
They're
she
saying
was
she's got a
just
new face.
eating.
I was
for a
about to
change.
say maybe she was eating because she was at home. What
She's
else
still
could
as
she...
skinny as
Guys,
anything.
Yeah, but maybe she ate.
Can we remember
Okay.
that she's reported to have suffering from cancer?
Or, yeah, having
Maybe.
preventative...
Preventative.
Cancer
Yeah.
is now no longer something that they say 1 in 3. Cancer is 1 in 2. So there's half the population suffering from the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but like, come
Let's
on.
get into who's our enemy of progress before we get ourselves into enemy of progress. Auntie Nana, take it away.
Imagine nominating ourselves. All right, so I'm going into Foxy Brown. I have to bring her to you guys. Like Foxy Brown, I like Foxy Brown. She actually gave me some cred with Il Nana, and that was my little nickname for quite a long time, so I really liked her. But Foxy Brown, it's been shared recently because her and Mr. Papers, who is little Kim's baby father, seem to have rekindled. And there's now podcast footage of him talking about how he went out with Foxy Brown when he was 16. He was like 16 or 17, and she was 26, 27. And I have to stand on, if this was the other way around, I'd be disgusted. And I'm disgusted that Foxy Brown was doing things with a teenager. I think it's predatory. She was a fully fledged star at the time as well. So there's an imbalance of power, and it just doesn't sit right with me.
Can I tell you how I feel about that?
Yes.
How do you feel
It
about
is
it?
wrong, but you know what that is, don't you? It's learnt behaviour.
Why?
You think?
Because
What
of
happened?
her
I mean, how old was she when the Jay-Z, allegedly?
dated her.
She young
She
as
was
well?
very
Apparently
young.
there was a conversation
Yeah,
about...
she's but
Yeah.
You know.
allegedly.
So it could be learnt. I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying it could be learnt behaviour because Jay-Z was the man in power, wasn't he?
It's interesting
Allegedly.
how this happened because Charlamagne the God always talks about the fact that he was molested, but he didn't realize he was being molested at the time. An older woman broke his virginity, and it went on for a while. But there's a perspective because then my first reaction was like, so how did this guy present at 16 to Foxy? And I would never give that allowance to the other way around. So I had to stop my own hypocrisy. It's a problem. Apparently they're dating now though.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah, they
Well,
are.
what does that mean?
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's so disgusting, and like to even be flaunting it like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's if this is, to be fair. Let me just caveat: it is allegedly, so we don't like. That's what he's saying, but I don't know, man. I just want fact checkers, basically.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because someone
important.
else said something like that, and when we checked the facts, it wasn't true.
Yeah.
This is very recent. I can't for the life of me remember who it is.
So you might not have been actually 16. You might have been of age.
or something.
Or something
but
to that
like still,
effect.
but still, the gap is insane.
Wild.
Any
It's 10 years.
the age gap is insane, and I think it's just a bit gross. And I can't say learn behavior. I just like that's you.
Yeah.
It
If
is,
you did
it
that,
is,
that's
but,
you. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't rate that. I don't give.
No, there's no
allowances for
ratings
that.
there.
Do
And
you know
I
what
also wonder if she's doing it as a little to little Kim.
maybe
What,
she
getting
is.
back with it?
Well, then, but technically, if she
Yes,
was with
same.
him first,
Yeah.
then Kim took.
That's what I mean.
Took him, and now she's gone
Them
back.
two
It's
have
all
their
But
back
it's
messy.
and
just
forth, or
like
had their back
it's
and forth.
just really disgusting how
Yeah.
it
Even
started.
that, It's gross, no? Like, I'm still putting her in the bin for even getting back with Mr. Papers, who is little Kim's baby father, who it was only 2 years ago that they had just got back together and they'd broken up. Like, so it's still, I think it's gross.
I
Like,
think it's
I don't
incestuous, but
like it.
I think, okay, if he hadn't met her when she was super young, I mean, sorry, Foxy Brown didn't date him when he was super young, and they dated in a normal age range. They were first in it. So it's just messy because I think the industry gets messy. But then if him and Foxy have, some...
Yeah, but it's incestuous, right? Like that's how it seems. It's just like this part of the industry where everyone has to date
each other.
Yes.
But that
I
is
do-
disgusting. I
Yeah,
don't
I think
like that.
I
do think,
it's-
I know we've spoken about this before, but I do think you date in your circle.
In your circle.
Don't you? You know, let's look at it objectively. Foxy Brown and Little Kim are not friends. So it's not like the brethren's dating the ex-brethren's boyfriend. You know, that's not the case. They're not friends. And if you look at the industry, how many times have we said, okay, Future, how many baby mothers has he got within, we were speaking about, what's his name the other day? Nivea's baby, Lil Wayne is one of them as well.
Yeah,
Lil Wayne's got, you date who you know, you date who you're in a circle with.
Yeah,
I think I've got the same opinion. I don't like that either. I think it's disgusting still. Like, do you know, across the board, like male or female, whoever's in control, whatever, like kind of thing. Like, widen the freaking net.
yes.
It's unnecessary.
I think
Do
it
you know what I
depends on the
mean?
situation. I do think that when you're in the public eye and you have to consider who's for you, who's not for you, I guess it's even more easier to default to the people who understand the business, and there's few and far between who you can potentially trust. I get that. I think sometimes it's overly messy because that's just people being messy, human beings being messy. But I don't know if I say to them they should widen the net when it's not as easy. If you're touring, your day-to-day life isn't like the average person. You don't necessarily have that time to do, especially if your career is on a run and you're touring, you're doing this, you're performing, you're work, all of that stuff, and then you've got to leave.
I don't think it's. You know, how do they meet in the first place? This is not when they're in that situation. And
But I
they
just
meet in
think I
person.
guess
what I
it's
mean?
going on what we see. How do you date as a celebrity? And what we see, they talk about the difficulties of trusting people. And then, some people absolutely don't date civilians. Some people do feel that they can't date a civilian. And then when you've got a woman who, especially when women are making more money, and then you've got to think about someone who's not in the public eye, who's not making as much money, you've got to have a very secure man. Furthermore, industry men aren't secure, let alone a civilian's got to deal with you being, let's say, a Beyonce or someone.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it's not as easy.
I think it's big. Like there's so many more options out there. Do you know what I mean? Like she didn't have to go for that particular man with that history, with her what do you call it? Her forever nemesis.
So that
why
part
would
is
you
why I'm
do
saying
that?
it's
Do you know what I
sticky.
mean?
That's
You're
what I
being
mean.
messy on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, are you auditioning for Love and Hip Hop? What is going
Basically.
on?
Yeah,
Like,
and,
do you know what I
and that's the thing,
mean?
we don't know all the strings attached. But I think if they have a history, that's a real history. I'm less concerned than if they're just being messy.
But the
and
history that we're presenting with at the moment, allegedly, is
messy.
predatory.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's
why
that.
would
I
do you
mean,
know
there's
what I mean?
that.
Like,
There's
it's just
that.
like
There's
each
that.
way you look, each way you cut it, it's
messy.
a problem.
It's an in the bin
Yeah.
moment.
Oh,
for
it's
her.
I mean, in the
absolutely
bin.
in the bin.
100%.
We were just exploring. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But in a-
go back to the
I
bin.
don't think you can
Maybe
get
there's
rid of
room
that.
for other people next to her.
Any more? Any more
Yeah,
for
there's
anyone?
lots. Yes, Diddy. We're still waiting for Diddy to be arrested, but this is what comedian and actor Eddie Griffin said about Diddy. This is not what I'm saying about Diddy. I'm just saying what he said. He said that allegedly Diddy had been having a full-on relationship with Clive Davis for years, and also Lycian Grange, who is the chairman and CEO of Universal Music Group. And he's saying that Diddy has been in a relationship with all of these guys. That's what he's saying. So that's the Diddy latest. Also, another singer called Nikkei Heaton, I think it is Nikkei Heaton. She's now gone on a live and said that Diddy and Kanye allegedly they SA'd her. And she goes into graphic detail as to how that went on. So again, there's more speculation with Kanye. Kanye also has a lawsuit that has been leveled at him of SA harassment by Lauren Pescotti or Pescotto?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the otter.
There we go. And she was out and about earlier on when he was doing his campaigns, and she was like the campaign manager, and then she got the sack publicly, and now she is suing him for wrongful termination, and also saying that he was sending her lewd text messages that were highly inappropriate. If this is all to believe, they definitely were very inappropriate. So she is also suing him as well. And then we have Justin Timberlake, which some people are saying this is justice for various people. He has been arrested on drink driving, maybe drug driving as well. There's like loads of speculation about his mental health as well in there. So people are saying that this is justice for Janet, Prince, and Britney.
Why Prince?
His tribute. That was not a tribute for Prince fans.
Apparently it was really, really bad. But yes, so there's a lot of people in the world of entertainment that are in the bin.
And needs to stay there.
Yes.
Auntie Farrah.
What did Justin say when he got arrested?
What? What did Justin say?
I'm sorry. I could just imagine him like walking.
Get in the bin.
Yay! And then he said, "Lately, I'm driving hard." Anyway.
Oh my! Can we get Farrah like dad jokes?
Yeah, he needs a dad joke. The queen of dad jokes.
So
Imagine.
much. Okay, so my enemy,
Yes.
and I'm saying this
With
from the bottom of my
bass.
is Michelle Charters, who is the head of International Slavery Museum. And she's my enemy because she has accepted an OBE.
I mean,
Now, she said, as a black person, this honour holds significant meaning, reflecting the progress we are making towards greater equality and representation, especially in my current role as head of International Slavery Museum at the National Museum in Liverpool. Now, the reason why I'm throwing her into the bin is because that in itself is an oxymoron.
honestly,
Because
moron.
how can you, in your current position, accept this award, which is, the award is, you know, it's a member of the British Empire. That's what the award is. On the actual medal that you get.
She's got an OBE.
Yeah, so OBE. On the actual medal that you get, it says for God and Britain, the British Empire. That's what it says on it, right? Now, let's not forget, Britain colonized and enslaved millions of people across the globe. That's what it means to be a part of the British Empire.
Exactly.
Okay? How can you represent and be the head of the International Museum for Slavery and accept this award? I'm going to quote our friend George the Poet, okay? So George the Poet recently declined an MBE. And when he declined the MBE, he said, let's not forget that they use people like him to whitewash the British Empire.
Right.
You know, they do it, so let's not forget that the British enslaved people and they did it by force, and it didn't benefit the people that they enslaved.
No.
Now, what I'd like to say is, in adjacent to that, is how many times do we get told go back to our own country?
Yeah.
This happens all the time. This is from the British Empire. So the descendants of the people that you enslaved and colonized who live here and have built up your country, you're telling us to go home. You're telling us to stop coming here. Go home where and for what? You cannot represent the history of slavery and then accept this award and act like you're doing it for the community.
No.
Your ancestors are like, they're turning in their graves. If they have named graves, I might add.
Exactly.
Because they probably don't. So I just don't feel like any black person worth their salt should take this award. And I know that's a personal thing, but I really don't. Because it's like, what does it mean to be a part of the British Empire? What does it mean?
I'm stuck on this honour holds significant meaning, reflecting the progress we are making towards greater equity and representation. How? You're the head of the International Slavery Museum. Like, I understand documenting our history, but it's the slavery museum that documents what the empire did to Africans and then the rest of the world. Yes, like as Auntie Farrah said, it's an oxymoron heavy on the moron. Because how could you say these things? I don't know. I'm also disgusted. I don't understand. I've lost words. But yeah, that when she said that, who did you speak to? Who did you consult? Who says that we're reflecting what progress have we made? There are still diversity groups that are trying to advocate for the betterment of black people. There's actually people who have suffered from the Windrush who haven't had their reparations. Yeah. There are communities talking about reparations, wanting their money back from institutions that have benefited from our blood, sweat and tears. And you're talking about the progress that we've made.
Let me get an OBE because I'm gonna use that to put it on top of the reparations.
Exactly.
And it will multiply. She's an idiot.
Yeah, she is.
She's an absolute idiot. It is absolutely disgusting. She needs to be fired immediately. She should not hold that position. It is literally what you said. It's an oxymoron. Like, what the hell are you doing? This is why other countries laugh at us. This is why. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like, I thought we're doing something for the people, and then you go and do that. It's not making sense.
No.
It's not making sense, man.
Although museums, as they stand, I actually think she's probably occupying the correct job. Because what are you actually representing? Where is the reparations?
Yeah.
You're just kind of harboring on, and sometimes museums are like lording over the world what we actually did, that we were conquerors. So
are we going to lend you
probably in
your
the right job?
artifacts?
Exactly.
Remember that?
She probably is in exactly where she is supposed to be. As an OBE, I think she is probably exactly the type of black that they're after.
Yeah.
Us other blacks who can see through all of this shit, we need to rebel against this, because her saying this is for inclusion, this is for us, this is a win for the... It's absolutely not. This is what they do. They roll out the tropes of people. And then others are like, oh, yes, I too can be one of them. Like, people don't fall for the okie doke. This is shit.
Yeah. Right. And that's what George Pope basically said. He said, you can't use me to, you know,
to placate,
whitewash what you've done. So when she actually took this position on in 2023, she said, throughout my 40-year career, my commitment has been to uncover, promote the truth of black experience, both historically and in the present, in order to find a way in which we can all learn, share and participate in collective fight for justice. The collective fight for justice.
She's
Babe,
an idiot.
It's words.
let me look at the camera.
It's words.
You should never have accepted this award, and I should tell you for why. Yeah, as long as there is no official apology, as long as there are no reparations for black people around the world, how very dare you accept an honour for the British Empire?
Exactly.
I rebuke you, and you need to be sacked.
You do.
Expeditiously.
I hate that that's T.I.'s word. She's also leading, just by the way, we don't have money, but £58 million redevelopment project at the Slavery Museum. Reparations.
Again.
58 million. Listen, we do not need a museum to tell us what happened.
Not for 58 million.
Feed that money into the community, because that's where the problems are.
That's why she's in the perfect job, and this is why she has the award. The museum, what is that doing for any black person?
In Liverpool.
What has the museum done for anybody? All it's doing is collecting money and going back into the empire. She is perfectly placed, basically.
Ridiculous.
In the bin.
Okay, my enemy of progress is the Greek Coastguard for allegedly throwing migrants overboard of their boats. So what happened is the Greek Coastguard is accused of causing over 40 migrant deaths by pushing them back into the sea or forcing them out of Greek territorial waters between 2020 and 2023. Reports indicate that migrants were thrown directly into the sea and abandoned on dinghies without motors. So there's a BBC documentary that provided evidence of a pattern of abuse by the Greek Coastguard. So a couple of the survivors have spoken out. A Cameroonian survivor said that he and two others were thrown into the sea by the Greek authorities after landing on Samos in September 21. He survived, but his companions did not. A Somali survivor described being zip-tied and thrown into the sea by the Coast Guard in March 2021, surviving by floating on his back while 3 others in his group drowned.
Jesus.
In 2022, a boat carrying 85 migrants was allegedly returned to Turkish waters and placed in life rafts that sank, leading to several deaths, including children. And then there's a trial that's going on a horrible trial. I can't find my words. 9 survivors from a June 2023 shipwreck known as the Pylos 9 or Pylos 9 are on trial, accused of being responsible for over 600 migrant deaths by facilitating transport in an overcrowded vessel. So the charges include participation in a criminal organisation, causing the shipwreck, and unauthorised entry into Greece. The trial, which began in May 2024, is ongoing with a lot of international scrutiny and calls for transparency and justice. Advocacy groups continue to push for their acquittal, because obviously it can't be their fault, I'm saying that, and a thorough investigation into the Coastguard's alleged misconduct. And then another naval court investigation into the Greek Coastguard's potential liability is also ongoing, focusing on whether their actions directly contributed to the shipwreck. I mean, I saw this story and my mouth dropped. And I again, it goes back to why the hell do you hate us so much? People are trying to survive or escape whatever hardships they're on in their homelands. And yes, they're not going through the proper channels, but why are they criminalized? I don't like the idea of their criminal. There's obviously an issue which we've just spoken about the whole problems of the British Empire and other empires that ruined Africa, and then subsequently every black country in the world. No,
it's disgusting. But is there ever going to be any justice that we will see in our lifetimes?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I hate that we have these arbitrary borders, and you can tell another human being who has a right to this earth, you cannot go here, and I will kill you because you stepped there.
And probably get away with it.
I think it's insane that we are even having to talk about this. Really, and you could argue with somebody being like, no, they're not allowed there. Why? And why are you allowed there? And why is it that me with my British passport can probably travel around most parts of this world very easily, and somebody else who is a human like me, who just happens to have another passport, cannot?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so disgusting. It's not like we're talking about human beings when it's this body, this nice.
Yeah.
So these people had names, they have families, they are loved, they love.
Yeah.
They just wanted to survive. And for somebody to be like, I'm going to throw you over and tie you up. What?
And
it's
also,
murder.
It is
murder.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And who gave you the
no way
authority?
around
I don't understand. And the fact that you thought you could get away with it, I mean, that's the part, because they didn't expect people to survive. So how much longer would it have gone on if they weren't survivors?
God.
It's because we're dehumanized.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. We are numbers. We're not people who have families and loved ones and love and have feelings and emotions. We're just things that they can easily dispose of. This has been going on for centuries. This is nothing new, and that's why they feel that they can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not even shocked or surprised. I'm saddened and I'm horrified, but it doesn't fucking surprise me, because they've been doing this shit. If you were to dredge the oceans, do you know how many of us are under there?
Yeah.
Imagine. Anyway, so I will keep a close eye on this trial. Oh, no, shut it.
Okay, cool. So my enemy of progress is Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club. I'm going to say that, the Breakfast Club in general, I think. Do you know what I mean? Although, I'm sticking to it.
Yeah,
What was the question?
I'm
Question mark.
smiling.
Yeah.
I've wanted them there for a while.
So they had newish artist Tyla on. She's been doing really well in the charts. Do you know what I mean? Her songs are everywhere. Everyone loves them and everything like that. She recently was on Kais and that show. Had a little bit awkward,
That was
embarrassing
funny.
moment when he liked her.
He loves her.
Yeah.
And she's like, for real?
Yeah. She friend-zoned him in front of how many people? Yeah, basically. And basically she goes on to the show, and she was asked a question by Charlamagne about being called coloured, right? And obviously Tyla's from South Africa. She's not an American and everything like that. And it has different meaning in different areas, right? So when the question was asked, she turns, looked at her publicist, and her publicist shut it down. And in the clip that they put it out, they turned up the volume. Yes. So it was so loud, hearing the publicist shut it down. And Charlamagne says, we're going to keep that in as well, kind of thing, the clip. This is great. We're going to keep it in the clip as well. And I just thought, this is a bit unnecessary. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's obviously, it would have been flagged. If the publicist is right there, it would have been flagged already that she didn't want to talk about this. So then just to go into it a little bit. So in South Africa, the way that, sorry, let me actually just say what Tyla said on her Instagram, because she put out a statement and she says, y'all guys, she's never denied, I've never denied my blackness. I don't know where that came from. I'm mixed with Black, Zulu, Irish, Mauritian, Indian and coloured. In South Africa, I would be classed as a coloured woman, and in other places, I'll be classified as a black woman. Race is classified differently in different parts of the world. I don't expect to be identified as a coloured outside of South Africa by anyone not comfortable doing so, because I understand the weight of the word outside of South Africa. But to close this conversation, I am both coloured in South Africa and a black woman. And then she says, as a woman of culture, it's actually, I don't even know. She said something else at the end, but her point was made.
And she made a really good point.
She did make a really good point. And I just thought, like, this could have been like a really, do you know what I mean? Like, good interview for her and everything like that. And they kind of tried to sour it with this, do you know what I mean? And I feel like it's interesting that she has to defend this because she is being present in the US market. Do you know what I mean? So it just feels a little bit unfair. And then people trying to educate her on what she is. Like, do you know what I mean? Or how she sees herself. So yeah, I just wanted to see, what do you guys think? Do you think that they are enemy of progress? Do you think Charlamagne is an enemy for pushing the issue and getting glee out of this this actual viral moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Charlamagne was.
I don't think Charlamagne's an
Oh
enemy.
my God, is that okay?
Yeah, I don't. I don't, because I listened to it, and I thought that all he said, I say in quotes, all he said was, can you clarify, or like, he didn't even ask it in his normal Charlamagne way. He just said, can you explain why people are talking about the conversation about you being coloured or something like that. He said it in an even tone. He wasn't even being sensationalist. Then she did turn, and then she spoke to her publicist, and the publicist said, let's shut that down. Then Charlamagne turned into Charlamagne, goes, oh, we're going to keep that. That part was his troll. I think publicist, and I think the response in the comments, those people are the enemies, because I think definitely, why are you schooling somebody? I think that was a missed moment. I think the publicist should prepare Tyla in general. She's a young girl as well. You should prepare your client for these type of conversations. The only thing I could say, that if she did say to Charlamagne, don't speak about it, and he did, that's out of order. And he had spoken about, sometimes we get told by publicists not to say anything, and we do. Yeah. But in this moment, from listening to the whole interview, he wasn't even in troll mode in that state. He was quite respectful of her through the whole interview. Even after he did that troll bit, he went back and kept it quite neutral. So I don't think he's enemy. He didn't ask a question that was wrong. He didn't ask it in a sensational way. But the publicist, prepare your client to deal with these kind of conversations. It could have been a beautiful conversation about her background, her heritage, and I don't even know why they shut it. I get if you want to keep your client away from politics and stuff, but this is the thing, you're going into a territory that doesn't understand, not everybody understands about the history of South Africa and where coloured comes from.
So then he should have said that.
No, but he didn't.
He should have framed the question.
But he didn't ask a horrible question. He wasn't rude. His question wasn't rude. What I heard was, I didn't like Charlamagne, and Charlamagne can be Charlamagne. The question he asked was not rude, wasn't sensational, wasn't aggressive or anything. I think the publisher should have prepared Tyla, or don't take her to a show where you think that could happen, because the Breakfast Club is rowdy. So then also don't put your client in that space. To be fair, I don't blame Tyla. I don't think the weight should be on her. The weight should be on her. And I think in the comments, those people trying to school and say you shouldn't use coloured, do your history, because that's where sometimes Americans think they're the centre of the universe, and their ignorance wills out. And I will say, Charlamagne has been ignorant to people from the Caribbean, from Africa, from the UK when they come on the show, and he has acted the fool. But in this moment, I wouldn't say he was the enemy. I'd say the comments and the publicist.
I agree wholeheartedly. I would throw Tyla in there as well. I think she should have spoke up for herself. I think she should. That statement that she put out, that is exactly what she should have said on the Breakfast Club, because that's all that needed to be said, really, to what he asked. It was like, can you explain the coloured controversy? Like, why is there a controversy around that? That's when you do a little schooling. And that was it, really. I think this is blown out of proportion, and they did that. Her and her publicist. They are the enemies of progress.
So him posting the clip and putting the volume up and saying, "Ooh, we're gonna keep that in," that's not controversial.
I think the trolling is
No,
there, but
yeah,
that's
he
he's
used
the
the moment.
character. That's his
Yeah.
character. I don't
So
think
then-
the conversation. No, I think the conversation is the question he asked wasn't wrong. Him being a troll, which he always is, he doesn't filter. So I think then again, the publicist, don't put your client in a place. Prepare for the questions that could be asked, that could be difficult. Don't put in a place where.
Okay, so wait, I'm
Yeah,
not talking now.
yeah.
So I feel like we're making a lot of assumptions. We don't know if her publicist prepared her for that.
Maybe.
The way that she looked at her publicist, I would be inclined to think that they've had that conversation, and it's whether or not she should answer that question.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's asked me a question that we've discussed. So that's why the publicist has stepped in and said, "We're not going to do that." That's my interpretation of the conversation. Okay,
that's true.
happened.
That's what happened.
So if Charlamagne wanted to find out, and it is a valid question, and it could have been a beautiful moment to educate people that don't understand how black is viewed around the world and labelled around the world. It could have been. He should have framed it that way. Tyla is a young gal. We've all said that, right? If you want to get something out of her, frame it in the right way. Would he have said that to Trevor Noah? If Trevor Noah went on there, would he have said it to Trevor Noah? Would he have been like to Trevor Noah's publicist? Ooh,
Yeah,
we're going to
he
keep
does
that
that.
in.
He does that. Charlamagne does it to everybody. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, he does.
I'm not
gonna
saying
say
he doesn't
No,
do it
I
to
won't go on a
everyone,
limb, but you're
but
asking a question. Yeah.
But what I am saying is, I think it would have been framed and shown differently. I just kind of do. It kind of makes me. I don't feel comfortable with the way that they went ahead and did it. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. I like her response. I think her response was valid because blackness is thought of differently around the world.
Yeah.
And African Americans even sometimes have issues
Yeah.
with the way that they're perpetuated or the labels that they're given.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think I don't have a problem with her response. I don't even really have a problem with it coming up. I have a problem with the way that it was dealt with and the trolling of it afterwards. Because we're gonna keep that in. To me, it makes me feel like they had a conversation with before. If you're a PR or a publicist and you prepare your client, what more could she have done? How can the publicist be in a bin if she has sat with her client and prepared her and then done her due diligence and gone to the people that she's going on to the interview and prepared them and told them this is off record, this is out of bounds, and then they still do it? What more could she have done in that sense? I don't know what more she could have done.
The Breakfast Club isn't the place for that because he's so well documented as saying, you can tell me not to ask, I'm going to ask. So to put her in a space where you're saying, don't talk about this coloured thing, which has been a huge in America.
Yeah.
The Breakfast Place ain't the space.
Fair
for her.
enough.
I would say that's why she's in the bin.
Oh, I think it was passive aggressive. That's what I think. I think that there is a difference in terms of like how they treat women sometimes, you know what I mean? She's a young girl. I think it would have been approached differently. I think Charlamagne, as much as he is a troll, he's an educated man as well, do you know what I mean? And sometimes he leads with the education first.
Yeah.
He chose not to do that in that moment. Do you know what I mean? He could have said, this is what I understand. Do you know what I mean? What's your viewpoint on this? Do you agree with that statement or something like that? He could have just dealt with it in so many different ways. But what he did is he put her on the spot, which it does seem like it's been discussed. That's why she turned to the publicist. Also, they already had before that an awkward moment with the Kaisenat conversation where she was completely uncomfortable. She was uncomfortable again, but they pushed it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like the comfortability in making her uncomfortable for a moment doesn't sit well with me. Knowing that Charlamagne's an educated man, do you know what I mean? Like, really, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? I don't like it. She's only 20. Do you know what I mean? This is the beginning of her career. Like, you know, she's a baby. He should be protecting her, really. But he didn't. He kind of set it up for her to be, you know, for literally Black Americans to come at her. Do you know what I mean? That's what I don't like about
That's how
it.
I feel.
But yeah.
All right. Let's go. Auntie Nana.
We didn't get a resolve on who was in the bin.
No.
But maybe all of them.
Let's put them on the fence or in the garden. As
I
we've
think
said
it's a good.
before.
I think fair points are made.
Yeah.
Fair points.
All right, I'll go through this really quickly. There's been like prominent men that have been out there and they've just been getting gunned for, I guess, presenting as slightly effeminate. And I would say that the critiques of how men want to dress are the enemies of progress.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with a notable enemy of progress is Young Spray. Because he is forever in the bin. He's always being a bit of an idiot. And this week he decided to send a Y, which is what he always does, Y all the time, to notes for basically putting out a really nice message for men to look after their mental health and to reach out to people if they need to talk. He just happened to be in a pink cardigan and he had a high bun. Nothing crazy. I didn't think he even looked really that different from usual. But Young Spray decided, he said young people shouldn't listen to him because look at how he dresses. And it's just out of order. Notes did come back to him and was like, basically, what are you even known for? Does anybody even know your music? Can we say any bars from Young Spray? Do you know anything?
No, but it's not my demo.
He's our age, you know.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
Young Spray was about when we would have been listening.
So he ain't young.
Channel U days.
Yes, Channel U days. He ain't that young at all. He's literally in his 40s.
No way.
Oh, I get it.
I had no references of Young Spray at all. And Note said his generation also have no references of Young Spray. So please, Young Spray, sit down and be quiet. But also people were having a go at Ian Wright because he is on... he's in GQ magazine and he was wearing a skirt and roller skates. I don't know. What do you think?
Are we breaking it down like that?
Yes. Who is the enemy in this? Is it weird?
For Notes, no, at all. I think like guys wearing pink is nothing. Nowadays, especially nowadays. I mean, Cameron is the poster child of hip hop, and no one sees him as an idiot or anything else.
Well, no,
but
he definitely is an
They
idiot.
just assume he's an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
no.
for wearing pink.
Not for wearing pink.
Not for wearing.
Everything
Let
else
me
in life.
specify and clarify, because you lost the verses. Locks forever, but for wearing pink, I should say.
Yes.
So it's just this thing of like challenging men or coming at men for being effeminate because they do anything that's left of center. We're in a world where metrosexuality is a thing, and men are getting in touch with who they are in all sorts of presentations. So there was no need to come for Notes, and especially in a moment when he's talking about mental health awareness for men, like it's a moment, and then everyone just turns into a troll. Ian Wright shook me for a bit, paused me for a bit. I didn't understand why he styled in a skirt and roller boots, and I might need to have a conversation with myself. But I felt like Ian Wright's not a quirky dresser. He's a geezer, and from how he presents, a man's man, lad's lad. And I guess this is what the conversation that we're having. But I don't know. I don't think the styling made sense. So if there's any question about why this happened, this very much does lend to the conspiracy theory conversations of emasculating black men who are seen as quite alpha male heroes or representation. So I had to have a conversation with myself, like, how do I feel about seeing Ian Wright in a skirt and roller boots? I don't know where I land. I don't think the shoot was anything special or not. Ian Wright's a legend for us, and he's moving on from past it into past is new. I don't know.
What do you guys think?
Historically, men have worn skirts and dresses. Historically,
That is
if
true.
you know, it's a Western thing that's made it be like wear trousers, you're masculine. It doesn't bother. We're putting too much emphasis on sexuality surrounding it around what men are wearing and emasculating them. Historically, it's not new, so it doesn't bother me. The shoot. Like sometimes we've sat here and we've looked at other people doing shoots. We looked at Rihanna's shoot and we said it's shit.
Yeah.
The shoot shit, innit?
Yeah.
If it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that he's wearing a skirt. That's the part.
It's
that
more like it
bother
doesn't
me.
make sense,
It's like,
yeah.
does the shoot make sense?
Yeah.
Like, what's the meaning behind it? That's the thing for me.
But then
And
I
like,
think just leaning into that,
Yeah.
what is that? Why would we question that? Because I think for me,
that's what
it doesn't
we've
make
been
sense.
taught.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's what
okay.
we've been taught. We've been taught to look at men in a skirt like it's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's what we've been taught. So,
Outside of a kilt.
So outside of, and why is it a kilt? You know, what about traditional African dress and an Asian dress and all these different things where people don't wear trousers?
They're in long dresses.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
That is true.
So come on
Yeah.
now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're emasculated. Those are some of the most masculine men in the world that dress like
Yeah.
that. Come on now, I don't like it. It's just chatting shit for chatting shit saints. And someone wearing pink, Pink looks nice on guys sometimes.
It does sometimes.
Hello.
I can't even believe this isn't pink in 2024. I was gonna say, like 10 years ago, like it's an issue for men. Like this is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. I think it's a non-issue. What I don't like though is the kind of gay fishing of like some pop, you know, some stars. Like, do you mean I think Harry Styles was just definitely accused of that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like playing into like trying to get like the gay audience on side and that sort of thing. I don't like that. No. So if you're playing to that and it's obvious, people aren't gonna like that. Do you know what I mean? So but I don't think that's what Notes is doing. I don't think that's what what do you call it? Ian Wright is doing either. Do you know what I mean? Lil Uzi Vert. Yeah, he done a campaign recently. I thought it was kind of cute.
Uzi's very comfortable in his flamboyance.
That's it. I think sometimes people just like the fashion of it all. Yeah. It's not necessarily that they are one way or the other. It's just this looks nice. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah. I think going into what you're saying about gay fishing, I think sometimes when you can see, and this goes back to the Ian Wright shoot, when you think of a publication or a platform that potentially is like, oh, let's play to an audience so that we can kind of get the numbers and the likes. So there's that. So I think sometimes when it's someone that you know as one way and then all of a sudden they're presented in a different space, I think for Black people, we're very protective of how we are manipulated for other people's gain. So I think that could also play into the reaction, like, what's going on here?
What's happening with him? Okay. Fair. I still think it's the reaction is probably the enemy of progress. Absolutely. Like, just allow men to be who they are and express themselves how they want to express themselves, especially you, young Spray.
Yeah. Not so young Spray.
Not so young Spray. And big up Marlon Wayans.
When does it stop though, innit? Like when you're old, like in your 40s, can you be little or young anymore?
No.
Like, you drop it, innit?
You drop it.
You're just Spray.
You're just spraying shit.
Okay. Just quickly, Nana AKUA, get back in the bin. Don't try and pop your head out with your new wig. We don't care. It doesn't fool us. And change your name.
No.
No, Nana AKUA.
It's so jarring. Literally, it's so annoying.
Especially when you cuss them, and then in the comments, someone will say, "And you," and I'm like, "Oh no,
it's Nana AKUA." Yeah. My birth certificate says Nana AKUA, right?
So she's literally your namesake. Like me, it's just partial. But
together we're her. And then on my birth certificate, remove your name and don't. Okay, you got new wigs. It doesn't change the shit that you spout.
I'm surprised she's not changed her name to Jane.
In it,
you know, like I'm very surprised that she even accepts such a name.
It's true,
you know. But it plays to the brand, isn't it? That I'm an authentic African.
I'm the true African.
So you've got to believe what I'm saying.
Britain's fantastic.
Oh,
there's no slavery.
And then speaking on people with political voices, there's a quick political update. Rishi Sunak says he suffered growing up because he didn't have Sky TV. He was in the interview with ITV. He was during an entire.
Did you see Rishi's house? Did you see his house?
What's he talking about?
Basically, go on. What do you want to say?
The interview that he left.
A D-Day.
The D-Day memorial, right? To come back for.
Yeah.
To say we suffered. We didn't, like lots of people. We didn't have Sky TV.
Basically.
Okay.
So he described how his parents made many sacrifices to pay for his education at the prestigious Winchester College, which now costs 52 grand a year. In the interview, Sunak squirmed and laughed when asked about sacrifices, specifically citing the lack of Sky TV being, I suffered, as FARRAH basically said.
How can you kind of have Sky TV as a measure of we were impoverished? Really, Sky TV is
a luxury when it first came out.
It's a luxury, and now it's a luxury.
Now it's teeth.
I'm like, but his house that he grew up in is huge.
Yes.
So, dude, you weren't poor. You literally went to one of the best private schools. To even allude to, oh my God, woe is me, is just very stupid.
A GP and was a physician. What's his parents? One, the GP and something else.
We're not stupid.
We're not
like, overall, nobody cares. And we know that you're
the question
was, anyway.
And the question was, how do you relate to the people? How do you stop being so disassociated from the people? And that was a chance for you to give, well, actually, maybe I can't because I'm so far. Be honest. Don't talk about Sky TV. That's so patronising.
I think he probably, not to defend him in any sort of way, but I think he kind of misspoke, I think it's just like, what you don't understand is that I have immigrant parents, that I couldn't have the things that I wanted.
Yeah.
Not that they couldn't afford them, that I actually had to go without because of certain. Do you know what I mean? Because they wanted
get what
me
you
to
mean.
study. That's what I think he was trying to go with, but it just didn't land.
At
You've given
all.
him
It didn't.
way too much
You're
credibility.
giving
He
much
needs you on his team.
Yeah. But no, to be fair, Charlotte, I get
That was
'cause
a
it's like,
good one.
yeah. I get it because it kind of like it kind of came out. Yeah.
That's how he
For the
should
next,
have
for the
answered.
next 2 weeks, he needs you.
Should have been honest. But also, just a quick one. Dawn Butler, old Dawn, remixed So Solid's 21
Oh,
Seconds
yeah.
to encourage people to vote. And I wanted to ask you if it's a cringe or binge. She's a Labour candidate for Brent East and was urging
borough.
us.
She's actually my candidate.
Urging us to vote.
She is. Her flyer came through my letterbox yesterday.
There you go.
So did this encourage you to?
No.
Her bars saying,
ain't voted
so
for Labour."
Rishi at D-Day, where did he go? Like, don't let a liar run the show.
No. I know the comments were really like, "Oh my god, this is great." This is
Yeah,
great."
they
I know that
yeah.
was the comments, but it was pants.
People
It
need
made
to
me cringe.
Stop lying.
The comments were like, "Oh, it's so great that she's trying to hit the
The demographics.
The demographic."
But no, but how? Like, do you know, that's our
That's
era.
us.
We don't need that. I do not require you to do karaoke of So Solid in form of a TikTok or a reel in order to get my vote. I don't need
No.
that. Do you know what I
Should have
mean?
done a Digger D remix or.
No,
I mean,
just
don't do it.
Just don't do
Is
it.
that, it was an auntie
It was
move.
bizarre.
Dawn, we do want you to come
She
on
She was
the
on
aunties.
a bench. She started on a bench, a park bench.
Yeah, she was going around the ends.
What the fuck?
In North Wheezy.
Let's do a
It was
welcome to
really
the
bad.
family, guys, because
Wait, just very quickly.
Go.
I also want to just throw quickly in the political bin, Keir Starmer, who said
course.
about if he becomes prime minister, they will review the arms sales to Israel.
Yeah.
Review, not stop. Review.
Review. All right,
he's
let's
bad.
welcome to the family. Auntie Charlotte, you go first, 'cause I feel like I've chatted a bit.
Oh, okay, cool. Welcoming Kevin Hart. I can't even say his name.
Drewski, that's right.
Drewski,
Yeah.
yeah. Kai Cenat,
Yeah.
for just having some black boy joy on the
Yeah,
live streaming.
it
and
was fun.
everything.
They're
Kai's
so
still
silly.
Around the surface.
I mean, like they are gelling
Yeah.
together. Do you know what I mean? It is a little bit odd that Kevin's there.
Yeah, uncle.
Someone
A
was
little
saying
bit.
that, you know.
Yeah.
I saw comments and people were like, "Why is he there?"
Because I think he went on before, and I think they just had because Kai does have
Yeah.
a random amount of guests in
Yeah.
it, so they clicked, and everyone responded really well to the first time went on. So they're like, let's do this again. Let's
go.
get Drewski. So I think it was more that, but it is like uncles in the room. But it was at least Kevin looks like an uncle in the room, and it's funny because it's like uncle being uncle amongst the kids being foolish,
Yeah.
and he's bemused half the time and busting up and cracking up.
When he was on the first time, I did laugh when Kai gave him a stool.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny.
Seriously.
So, yeah.
Kevin was like, "Aren't we like the same height?"
Oh no, you welcome in.
Okay, I am welcome.
Oh, that's two. I'll do one. You do one.
Okay, I'm welcoming Ella Jenner. She is the woman who had accused a therapist of assaulting her during her therapy session, and we did highlight that as well because Sister Space was heavily supporting her and Kalechi as well. And she has been awarded. She has won.
Yes.
She's been awarded
Congratulations.
£200,000 in damages. She has won her civil case against him. His name is Michael Lusada. Hopefully he is no longer practicing as a therapist. I'm not too sure, but hopefully that has happened. I'm just really proud that she was really brave to go through and get justice monetarily, and that she has won and also waived her anonymity as well, like just putting herself out there, and we support her wholeheartedly. So welcome to the family.
Welcome. Big up
She
and well
needed
done.
more though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know
She did.
how like justice is in this country with money. That is considered very good. It's not the same as America.
shame.
No,
over here.
should have been. A quick one. So I don't know if you guys remember the Park Karen who accused a black man who was minding his own business, doing his bird watching, and she actually called the police on him saying, African American man is threatening my life when he was just bird watching. She did. There was that time when there's a bunch of Karens doing the most.
There's so many because I remember the fishing one.
There was so many, like there was Barbecue Becky calling police on black people for barbecuing, Permit Patty, Paw Patrol Paula. There's a whole bunch of them. But this one in particular, who I'm welcoming is not Amy Cooper, the bird-watching Karen. It was actually Christian Cooper who was the victim of her Karen behaviour, because he recently won an Emmy for his documentary about bird-watching called Extraordinary Birder. So, yeah, big up to you and meet to you, Amy. And just wanted to big up, I needed to get her name, so I'm going to open it quickly. Dede Ayite, who's become the first black woman to win a Tony for Best Costume Design of a Play at the 2024 Tony Awards. She's Ghanaian. Just want to big her up.
Big up to you.
As on to. And that's it. And that's
Why was she doing a zonto?
because she's Ghanaian.
Okay.
All right, aunties know best.
Yes.
Let go.
All right. Who's taking it?
Oh, me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, guys, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion.
Okay.
So, basically, we saw on social media, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was this woman who was talking about how her friend stole her engagement ring to take her man to a trip. On a trip to Dubai. Imagine. So basically, they got engaged. This is how she got engaged in COVID times. Like, everybody came over to the house and everything to celebrate.
Wow.
That was definitely breaking some rules, though.
Honestly.
But
Maybe outside on a lawn.
no, it was inside.
Might have been COVID.5.
Maybe.
Whatever the case.
But yeah, so everyone was over at her house, and basically her rings were in her room, but in a difficult place to find. So if you didn't really know, you wouldn't know where they are. In their usual place kind of thing. So she probably trusted everyone that was going to be there. So one day she realized that her ring wasn't there. She asked, everybody, they knew where it was and that sort of thing, because she doesn't usually wear it. The girl, her friend, basically said, nah, I ain't got your ring. Nothing like that. Do you know what I mean? And then she goes on a trip to Dubai with her boyfriend, kind of a bit out of the blue, because she knows her friend doesn't really have a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, what's happened there? But okay, cool, no problem. Then she comes back, and her and the boyfriend, her friend and her boyfriend have split up, so they're no longer together. Yeah, and then she kind of just like, yeah, I need to talk to you. Do you know what I mean? And she spills her whole entire guts that she was the one that took the ring, took her boyfriend to Dubai, and she had to tell her friend because the boyfriend was going to tell her instead.
Nonsense.
Because it turns out that she was cheating on her boyfriend.
Oh, it's too much. Too much.
I mean, this tracks.
Yeah.
It
This
tracks.
is out of order.
Yeah.
So my question is, that is a bad friend,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Do you know
not a
what I mean?
friend.
It's
Yeah.
not a friend. Can you recall a time when your friend, has done you dirty? Let's discuss.
I mean, I haven't had a dirty done as bad as that one, because that's like fuckeries to another level. But I was reminded of a time which I had totally erased from my memory that this had taken place. I put on a fashion show.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. It's one of my first fashion shows that I did. Quite a big one. And it was called The Creatives. I got a whole load of creatives together, makeup artists, photographers, and I sorted out all the models, but this was like my production. And I had one of my friends be the star of the show.
Okay.
And as we're going through it, I think I had piqued a jealousy bone in her.
Oh.
Because everybody's like, oh, no, like, this is my production. One of the first things I'd done. And she proceeded to leave and tell people that it's like I'd stolen the idea for doing it. And she left. And I don't know how I had forgotten this had taken place, but I had erased this memory
of course,
until somebody, another friend was like, remember when she did this to you? And I was like, oh my God, I'd actually forgotten all about this happening. But yeah, so it was a shit show for a second. Like literally it went into pandemonium. This is the star of the show. Has left and is like telling everybody, yeah, this has been stolen from me. So then these are new people and they're kind of like, can we trust Nana anymore? But they're all in the show.
Oh.
So
God.
the show still happened. Another girl stepped up and was like, I'll be the star.
Yeah.
So she wore the glamorous dress and everything else. It went okay. We didn't speak for a very long time, but somehow in my mind, probably like a trauma response, I had forgotten all about it.
Did you stay
Wow.
friends? How did you resolve it?
Yeah. It took
Did you talk-
years,
did you
but then
talk
we
through
started
it?
talking
Did you
again.
apologise? Did you ever have that conversation?
That's what I can't. I think that was kind of left to the side of the apology, is why I had forgotten that this fuckeries had taken place.
Interesting.
So, yes. It's all very weird that it was only recently I was re-reminded, and then we had this dilemma, and it was like, for real, what does the mind do?
How do you feel about it now?
Yes, fuckeries. I'm you know when you're like
living
re in
the
it to
pain.
be like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
But for years, I had filed it under a different place in my brain.
Are you going to deal with it?
I don't. That's a good question. Do you think I should? Actually,
Depends on.
I think
depends
you
on
should
if
stop
it's-
talking
if
to
it's-
her.
If it's your friend, then
Do you think I should reopen?
I think like there is something about like not saying things that you want to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Definitely.
actually dealing with things, because it's like if you put it in a little box, you
Yeah.
already dealt with it. Do you know what I mean? So like for you to have that conversation and to kind of like face that and just be like, you know what, you really done me wrong here. I hope you understand that this is how I felt. I think that's a fair conversation
especially
to
if she's
have.
still in your life.
Even if it's years ago.
Yeah.
I think so. If it's
Absolutely.
and it depends on how you feel. If she's in a box where that's just my friend over there, but if she's integral into your life moving forward every day, and you do have an interaction, I think then there's always that thing in the back of your mind. That means, again, we've spoken about this before. Like, then are you being a true friend to her if she doesn't realise that you've got this thing against her, all that type of
That's
stuff?
true. Depends
that's
on what
fair.
type of friend she is now.
Yeah,
definitely.
depends on. I think it's the level of friendship that you have now.
I don't think it doesn't matter what level of friendship,
yeah.
because it's happened. It's a thing
Yes.
that's happened,
I'm
and
not
it's
reducing
affected
it, yeah.
you. So it's just more about like for you to have that not closure. Closure is not the wrong way, but like to face that. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? And
Yes,
kind
to
of
have the
deal with it.
convo.
Like
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
think it's
having
fair.
uncomfortable conversations with friends is warranted.
Yeah.
it's needed for actual character growth. Do you know what I mean?
And
It
it's-
absolutely
yeah,
is.
It's hard.
Seriously.
It's difficult to even approach it.
Yeah.
But I've had some very uncomfortable conversations with friends, just to let them know, like, you do some fuckeries when we go out, and this is how you make me feel, and this is why I act this way.
Yeah.
You know.
What can you...
What's
It's
the-
fair. It's fair. I think I probably will. I will. Because I had so forgotten about it. That was worrying in itself. It's like, shit, I'd really filed that somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
how do you deal with
yes, I
trauma and
probably
pain?
should bring it up. Because it was a bit like, should I actually even speak to them anymore? And that would be horrible, actually. To not give an explanation for even
Yeah, to
a
just cut off
withdrawal.
now,
because
they probably think
because I'm
everything's
not really
okay.
yeah, I don't subscribe to ghosting. Like,
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
really, I
do.
should. No,
It's my favorite thing.
Oh, I love it around this side of the room. He loves that shit.
no, I'm not a ghoster.
Block.
No, not to a
I
friend.
haven't done it to a friend. I've
Yeah,
not.
I've never
Wait,
ghosted
you
anyone.
ghosted a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's some people in my life who I found out have done some real fuckery to me, yeah? And I mean, like, chatting things, spreading rumours and all sorts of stuff. And then once it's come to light, I'll just block that person.
Oh, you wouldn't even have the convo.
Because
like
you
the-
know what you did. And what's
Yeah.
happened is they've, like, tried to contact me, like, they've emailed me and said, oh, we couldn't get hold of it. I've blocked you
No
on
shit, do you know what I
everything
mean?
because you ain't my brethren. You've clearly displayed that you have a hate for me.
Yeah.
So I don't need you to be around. I've blocked family members. Blocker.
Do you know what I mean? Get out of here, man.
Wow.
Honestly.
Have you got a fuck?
Silence is deadly, you know.
No, it's true.
Sometimes it's just warranted.
It is.
Because sometimes it's just like you don't even know the person that you're dealing with. Can they even process what it is that you're trying to say? Do you know what I mean? Like there's that conversation, and it's just like, and also you have to protect yourself sometimes as well.
That part.
Do you know what I mean? Like that energy is a negative thing
Yeah.
that can have an effect
Yeah.
on you.
Like the same way
No.
that I get it. There are some people who it's healing, like I just said a minute ago, to have those uncomfortable conversations with. But at the same time, you have to recognize someone's personality.
Yeah.
And the people that I've blocked, I know that I could have a conversation with them and it's going to go nowhere and it's going to be twisted and then I'm going to end up feeling worse about myself. And they are actually serving me no purpose. And if I look at that person and how my life would be without them, it's actually better off without them.
You can just cut it.
There
out.
are some people
Yes.
that just bring negativity and negative
Yeah.
forces to your life. And when
Yes.
you cut them out, things change
Yeah.
That
for
is
the
true.
better.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Two fuckeries. One person I don't speak to anymore, and one person I think she's understanding now that I don't like her. So more recent, I say more recent. So after the, actually, yeah, I'm going to be blatant. I'm not going to say names. I'm going to be blatant. So if she watches this, you know who you are. After the situation that happened with Alicia and the scam, so there's a lot, you guys were my rocks in the moment of like, you've got to speak up, you've got to speak out. And I think I was bound by the black loyalty where I didn't want to embarrass another black woman or shame another black woman, even though she did fuckery to me. That was fuckery in itself. So then when I finally got the confidence to go public and say, this is what happened to me by this person, I got a phone call from someone who used to be a very close friend. We distanced, but then she kind of circled back. We're cordial. She called me and said, oh, I just wanted to have a word, because you putting that out there, people are judging you about saying things or speaking out. So I said, okay, who's judging me? Who, and what I didn't like already was the approach was, are you okay? What happened? How can I support you? None of that. It was like, it looks bad on you for speaking out. And I was like, okay, so what, like, who's speaking? Oh, this person. Who's this person? Who's this person?
Basically.
Right? Who is this person? Can they affect my money, my bag, my business? Not really. Who's this person? Give me their name. Oh, I can't do that. So why are you calling me? And I wasn't aggressive with her on the phone. We continued our conversation. But from that moment there, I was like, I don't like you. I don't want to be your friend again. And we've had to interact for a bit. And I didn't purposely not deal with her, but someone else in it for the project that we had to deal with, I responded to them. So I'm hoping that's a kind of an indirect. And I don't think she doesn't need a conversation from me, because as far as I'm concerned, you know what you did, or if you don't know, that's your business. We don't need to be friends. I don't need you in my life. We've moved on, and that's it. And I that was a fuckery, because I'm like, don't come to me ambiguously. And you've not, even when it was proven that what Alicia did, and she did what she did, like people maybe weren't necessarily maybe believing what I was saying, you never once messaged me and said, oh, how
That's
are
not a
you?
friend.
I'm sorry that this happened. Da-da-da-da. No words of reassuring, but you're there out there talking about, you've got to watch how you behave.
And let's not get it twisted as well. That person, because I know who you're talking about, they were trying to protect their own bag at the time, because they felt like they had something that they could achieve with the
So it's
scammer.
just-
Oh, really? Oh,
Really?
Oh, this is gross. Yeah, so that's clean. Never your friend.
Never ever my
You
friend.
don't need to chat to certain
Yeah.
people, man.
But yeah, anyway.
That's horrible as well.
I'm horrified.
Yeah.
I really am. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Blocker.
I
Go on,
take
have you
things
got
so
one?
seriously sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, I do. So I have too many. So it's like picking the right one that's not going to cause trouble later on as well. Do you know what I mean? But I definitely remember being younger, and I used to move with this girl, and yeah, she done a bunch of stuff, man. Seriously, she really did. We lived in a hostel together. I was staying with her. I'd literally just been kicked out again, so like had nowhere to go. So I was really reliant on her for like the place. I didn't have my own hostel at that point in time.
So you're with her in her hostel?
Yes, I was like doubly homeless.
Oh, Lord,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
In, like, yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
gosh.
it was a bit nuts. And, you know, I thought we were friends. I really did. You know what I mean? And like, it just turns out, yeah, that she used to do like weird stuff. So she would pretend to be me on the phone when I wasn't around, and like tick drawers.
Oh my God.
That's like, literally, if you don't understand what that means, like put like weed on
On
layaway.
layaway.
Yeah.
But
In your
but
name.
do it under my name and not tell me and stuff.
Like ticking
you know
a drawer
what I
is
mean?
big deals back in the day. You know?
Honestly, like I
Somebody could have come for you.
Yeah.
exactly. And I was poor, like when I say I was poor,
Yeah.
you know when you're so poor it
Yeah.
hurts. I was
And
poor, man.
yeah, P-O-O-R.
Can I eat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
more?
capital letters,
Like-
poor.
You just
Walking
reminded me of
places
something
poor.
else. But yeah,
Yeah.
Walking
Poor.
places
Poor.
poor.
Walking poor.
Just
Walking
so,
poor.
like,
Eat shit in the
literally.
fridge poor.
Yeah, honestly, I was so poor. So, so yeah, I didn't know until like someone was just like, "Yeah, you owe me money." It's just like, for what?
What?
Do you know what I mean? And those times, I didn't really like. I smoked a little bit, but you know, I didn't really smoke.
Not enough
Do you
to
know what I
kick
mean?
draws.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, them
no,
ways there.
not at all. I wouldn't do that. So
us.
irresponsible. And then also, she had a boyfriend, yeah, which I found out afterwards that he actually liked me.
Of course he did.
But she told him that I don't like yardy guys.
So
he
she did a
dated
racism
her.
on him.
Oh my God, he could have been really violent.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
You
that's
don't.
not nice.
Oh, God.
And he told me later, it was bad.
Do you know her
It was
today?
bad. No.
Okay.
No,
Have you seen her about?
Yeah, no, yeah, we bumped into years ago. Not,
Okay.
it's not a regular thing. Definitely
Okay.
not a regular thing.
Does she know that she
at
was fuckery
all.
to you?
No, I don't
She
know.
knows. What it is
Or-
that she
I don't
doesn't
know
know
if
that
she
she,
admits.
you know that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I
And
don't
she
know if
realizes,
she admitted,
yeah.
like,
She knows now.
But yeah, but like in the hostel, it's like there's so many crazy
Yeah, of course.
people, and I was witness to a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
fuckeries.
Hostel life, boy.
Hostel life is
We
mad.
need to write a joint play.
Oh,
or
I'm
a book
telling you, or
the
something,
film or
an
something about it.
accounts or something. But yeah, I do remember. I'll share this, which is not my story, but I was witness to it. That I had a friend, for her other friend that pissed her off. She phoned her employer and basically said that she's done a whole heap of things, that she's got these convictions and stuff, and she was a babysitter, or what do you call it, a nanny? So she
No.
DBS and all that.
No.
she
That's too cruel. That's
wicked.
actually
Do you know
gross.
what?
Do you really?
That's
Sorry,
cruel.
I'm not laughing because it's
That's
funny.
too cruel.
I'm laughing because it's
It's
so awkward.
wild.
Like it's wild.
That's
like, and I
gross.
just couldn't. You see when you see like someone does that close to you, you don't know what they're capable
No.
of doing.
Yeah,
like
I'm
you
scared.
don't know where the limit.
Yeah.
I've just remembered
Yeah.
one as you said that
Go
I
on.
blocked out. Jesus Christ.
See what the mind can
I
do?
got the sack once, yeah.
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Because-
This is when I was in the hostels.
Oh, yeah.
I had a job, right? And we had a Christmas party and I brought some friends and they proceeded to rob the place.
Oh.
At my Christmas party. And I was
Yeah,
drunk, so I was like, wait, like I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what they were
Can't
doing.
take people
And I went
nowhere.
to work on like the Monday and they were like, your friends robbed up the place.
Oh.
And I said,
No,
what are you talking about?
no,
My
no.
friend, and they said, your friends robbed the place. They did this, that,
On
X, Y,
CC?
Z, probably not CCTV in them times.
Wow.
innit?
Okay.
No.
This is
Oh.
hostel days, and I
Yeah.
lost my job. I got the sack
Wow.
because my friends that I took with me to the Christmas party.
Are they still your brethrens?
Not really.
Do you know them though? Do they know that? What did you
They
say?
know that I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's horrible.
And I lost my job, but I was living in a hostel.
Yeah,
Do
live
you know what I mean? Do you know like
Zero
how?
care.
Do you know how bad that is?
That's so.
terrible.
But do you know what? Back in the, like people were
fucking
people were
forgot about
wild.
that.
You couldn't take
Seriously.
people certain places.
No, you
You
couldn't.
couldn't.
No, but I learned that afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, not,
Yeah.
not
like,
everybody
not
can go
everybody
everywhere.
can go everywhere. Not everyone's got
my
upbringing.
days,
I'm just
until
gonna rob
you
the
started
place.
saying that.
Mate,
Shit.
See what the mind can
People are
do. It's
wild.
flipping crazy.
it's crazy.
Seriously.
But that's also
No, that's horrible.
But
well,
yeah.
guys, please share your fuckery stories in the
That we've
comments.
all got stories is really bad.
It's really bad. Fucking people. Pick better friends, man, or associates. All right, let's get into a dilemma quickly. I'm scared my youngest likes white boys.
Oh, sorry. What? Go.
Yes.
Go on, say it again.
I'm scared my youngest likes white boys.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Dear aunties, frustrated dad here. Let me start off by saying I don't hate white people. I've got some great white colleagues who are a laugh. But my youngest daughter, who's 15, is stressing me out. All she goes on about is white boys in her school, the music she listens to. She likes all the boys in Bridgerton with the brown hair and the tight jeans. They all look the same to me, and it's long. Me and my wife are all about black love. We've taken much care to make sure we raise our kids to be proud black children. Not that it's bloody worked. I've got 2 older sons. One's got got my grandkids with a white girl. The other one's got a white wife. So forgive me for being stressed that my baby girl is about to go the same way. I was counting on her to at least give me one chocolate grandchild that looks like me and my wife. What should I do? How do I make her see sense? I'm feeling like I want to send her to my brother in America so that by the time she gets to college, she goes to like a HBCU and we're done with it like that. But my wife isn't feeling that idea, but something has to be done. Help me.
Oh my god.
Where do they live?
That's what
I
I'm
don't
thinking.
know,
I
he
think
hasn't
it's like
said.
Swansea or something.
This is the thing. Like, if you care, if you really truly care about these type of things, you're prejudiced first of all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
let me
is.
just say that. Like, but if you really truly care about that, you have to think about the environment. Do you know what I mean? You can't be the only black in the village and expect them to make those kind of choices. That's great.
Do you
That's
think
You
what
don't think that
happens.
would happen in London?
It
Like,
does happen.
yeah,
It
that's
does
the same.
happen.
Family
It
like
does
that.
happen,
Me
but
too.
it's not as common. I would say that if you move out of where black people are, then you're more likely to go outside your race.
We just don't know where
I
Do
it is.
you
have
know what I mean?
sets of family. Nobody has come forward. I mean, they're uncles and aunties to me, innit? So they're not going to tell me their woes unless one of them is written in. But that's their kids. Like, I have a few sets actually where it's like 3 or 4 kids and all of them have a white partner. And yeah, they're going to produce mixed race kids. Like, that's how it is. I don't know how they feel and I don't know how I would feel. I'm not going to be writing into a show to get advice on it, but I may feel a little.
Twinge.
What happened? Yeah, I may feel something. I may do. I can't lie. So I understand his sentiments, but for real, she's just 15. Like, ease up. Give it
Ease
time.
up a little piece. And also, if you send that to your brother, there's no guarantee that she's
I
going
mean,
to
she might be like,
come on, there's no guarantee.
Seriously.
You need to send her to a predominantly black country, and even then, there's no guarantee.
She might be like holding on to like that one.
Guarantee.
How do you feel about it?
Boy, this looks like my family. Like, there's lots of interracial relationships in my family. It's not new.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by it. It happens. Sometimes it is environment. I do think that. But it's the world we're living in.
I think, if all my kids, if I had more than one, had white partners, I would be like, yo, what's going on? I would, because I am about black love, black family. My whole thing is about black first. So if my kids are not seeing I'm not seeing something, and it is such who you fall in love with is who you fall in love with. There's so much criteria as to what happens in that moment. But I cannot lie that if all my children, and if one's showing signs, I would be like, shit, what the hell? Because yes, it's more commonplace, interracial relationships and stuff like that, and I have nothing against anybody doing that for the right reasons. I will say that, whatever those right reasons are. But then we're in a space where, okay, so what does that say about what I look like? And we've spoken about feeling ugly and things like that. And we know that being dark skin as a woman especially can be associated with being ugly. So especially if I have boys, or if I have a daughter who's like, I don't want that, I'm not attracted to that, it would make me think. It would make me think. I can be like, yes, this is the world we live in, but I would have what's going on?
And blaming yourself. Because
I don't know about blaming myself.
He isn't blaming himself.
But
he's blaming
himself,
them.
Them.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just, you raised them.
Yeah, I think...
Or you didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think there's something in
the
that.
words that you use for the right reasons, that's what I always go to. Because I'm not about anybody being like, I only date white people because black girls are too X, Y, A. That shit I don't like.
Yeah.
If you meet someone and you fall in love with them, then you fall in love with them, innit? Like, I don't want you to tell me that's your preference because we're problematic.
Yeah,
that's the part I don't like. The daughter, she's 15. At 15, she
it's
might
a shaping
like
of her preference. Yeah, it's a shaping.
No, but not necessarily.
Do you know what? I hear you. I'm hearing you, but I think, like, from the dad's point of view, if this has happened twice, if you don't want this, this has happened twice already, then you're even catching it too late.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What you need to do, ain't you got no black brethren? Integrate her a little piece.
Well,
more,
he's
innit?
asking, what should he do then?
That's what he should do.
Bar sending her to America, and let's just say we don't know if it's a predominantly white area or predominantly black area. We don't know where she goes to school because, I don't know.
Take her on holidays to Carnival. That's what you do. Go tour the Caribbean and go to Carnival. Tour the African countries. There are many of these places that you could go to.
Yeah.
Open up her palette. To the beauty that is black. That's what he could do. Rather than sitting at home being like, oh, she's watching Bridgerton. Maybe put something black on. And be like, oh, what do you mean? Oh, he's a handsome guy, isn't he? Don't you think he's handsome? You lot would have pretty babies. Not yet though, darling. Because I bet he speaks like that though. Do you know what I mean?
He might. He's one of those blacks.
He might. There's no detail here. I can't tell. So he might be. Do you know what I mean? Serious. Do you know what I was thinking though? Do you know what? Weirdly enough, as big as my family is, none of my siblings have white partners. Not one. We don't have any.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not one. Which is I don't know. Like, I was thinking, like, how is that? Okay, like, how common is? Well, to be fair, most black men are with black women. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? That is a fact. Do you know what I mean? But like, I just wonder how common that is nowadays. Like,
I can say definitely for my family, all of the British borns that were born, there is probably one or two of all of my mum's siblings, somebody is with a white partner. Now, the ones before, or the Ghanaian, that's not there. And before my sister had Seren, there was nobody. We didn't have a mixed race person in our family. She was actually like the first. Okay. And so you can see the shift. And then you've got like me, and then like the ones that are older than me that have other kids, and their kids, most of them are with white partners. So there's definitely a shift in who your partner is. Like that's happening, and they're all in London. So it is like, yeah, you go to the family parties now, and it's very different to when I was a kid. Like there was always like, you know, one white woman there.
Yeah.
Like it was so rare. That's not the case now.
Yeah.
So it's
really
different
mixed.
on different sides of my family. Like on my dad's side of the family, like my brothers on that side, there are like I would say 4 of them, 3 of them, 4 have had children with white people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's 2 that are just like black, blip, 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 blip. And then like on my mum's side of the family, it's more rare. So my uncle, my mum's brother, he married, you know, he's got mixed race children. And then my great aunt's so my cousin on my great aunt's side, he's got like, he married a white woman. So it's less, I don't know what it is, but on that side of the family, it's less.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
My family's very disjointed, but who I know is mostly black.
Yeah. It's interesting because basically like our families could be shaped in lots of different ways as we get older. But I would question it. I definitely would with the boys. And then I don't know. I mean, so far, whenever they have a little crush that I can spot, it's usually a little dark-skinned girl. And I do take pride in, sometimes they kind of look like me, or they could have been my daughter.
Yeah. I mean, I can't lie. When Egypt talks about
Cringe.
like,
I would like them to be like, my mum's so beautiful. So
but I
that's
do
what I'm
get it.
after.
Like, I'm not going to lie and say that I would love for Egypt to be with a black person. I'm not going to lie. Like, I would. But if she isn't, I'm not going to be like, I abandon you.
Yeah, they just come to the house
I'm
and
not
all
gonna-
of that.
I'm not-
You're allowed to eat a bit of food. You can have some jollof.
Right, I'm not like coming at
You can have a bit of jollof and some stew.
I'm not going to be like that. But there is, you want your... I also think part of that is I want my child to have the most unproblematic experience in her life ever. You know? So...
My daughter, I was relieved. My daughter was like, I love a black man, and she's had black boyfriends, and her taste is very black. And
when she was growing up, did she have those crushes like the Bridgerton boys?
No, she never. My daughter was very introvert, shy, and she didn't speak about boys. So we were having this conversation the other day. She didn't really talk about boys. So when she did talk about boys, there was a moment because she had a bunch of posh middle class friends. And there was one boy that she was very, because she was a little cute, little nerdy girl, and she had this nerdy white boy that was her friend. I was like, oh. However, in later life, I mean, they've gone their separate ways. But if she saw him again, but he's also not straight.
I wish you were here.
I was just going to say, like,
but she's
I have a brother. He just likes Asians. That's it. That's his type is Asians.
As in which kind?
Like
South Asian.
South Asian. South Asian.
Okay.
That's it.
So
yeah, those preferences. That's
I know
different,
it's wild, isn't it? But
it's just
that's not to say he hasn't dated black, but like if he tells me about someone, I know they're gonna be Asian. Yeah. I just know.
So funny.
I think it's just, again, it comes back to personal securities and stuff. So sometimes you just got to not to project as parents that it means something's wrong with you or that they don't like you. Could just be who they like.
Yeah.
But just make sure they have all the tools to understand that black is beautiful.
And they're not rubbishing as well.
But
I think what you said was spot on. I think you literally should just open her horizons.
Yes.
Take her different
Trust me.
places. Like, are you going Spain all the time and stuff like that?
Trust me.
like go
Maybe
other
you
places.
venture a little out. Save
Do the
your
last
money.
dilemma for.
Okay. The last one.
Well, I'll do the next one.
Most of the time.
As in the time, yeah.
Huh?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Okay, because you were mixing it up by saying the last.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Am I the arsehole?
Oh, no.
I know I'm not, bruv. Anyway, am I the arsehole for being ungrateful?
It's number 3.
You said number 3. It says number 3.
It might not be refreshed. Sorry, hon.
Gee.
So it's the one.
It's the one that had my name against it. It's because you've done 2 3s.
Oh, have I? Sorry,
Yes.
my bad.
Sorry,
Yes.
people. And this is the one I wanted to do. So excellent. Okay. My dad's got a podcast. It's terrible. And I'm embarrassed. And I need to tell him to stop.
Oh, please.
Hi, aunties. I hope you see this email. I'm freaking out. My dad started a podcast and it's so embarrassing. Him and 2 of my uncles have started the podcast. One day they were in the garden getting drunk, talking about the old days. Don't know why I'm doing that accent. When they were going to jungle raves and they were hot boys wearing designers. Eye roll, don't roll. roll your eyes.
Even I'm rolling my eyes.
Because you know how that conversation was.
then my auntie came and gassed their heads saying that they should start a podcast. And okay, it's kind of my fault too, because I started telling them that all the podcasts I listened to, and they said yeah, and I said yeah, you should start. You should listen to Your Aunties Could Never. They're really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to get some tips.
Oh,
but
God.
I'm like taking the piss, thinking they're drunk and they're not gonna do it. How wrong was I? First of all, my dad loves your podcast. Right,
Thank you,
thanks.
Dad. Thank you.
And he keeps saying, nah, they need big man voices on there.
We don't.
We're fine.
We actually don't.
We're okay.
fine. Yeah.
Next minute, I'm seeing mics and recording stuff being delivered. I still didn't think anything of it until last month when my cousin calls me screaming with laughter and then sends me a link to my dad's podcast.
Oh, no.
I'm not even going to tell you what it's called. I'm too ashamed.
I want to Google it now.
They're talking about sex and women they find hot and smash or pass or
no,
bait.
not
It's
one of
so bait. Then my dad sent me the link to their first episode and he's all mad because it only got a few likes. He thought it would blow up and the next day he'd be like Joe Budden or something. Should I say it's because they're shit, or should I put him in touch with you guys so you can tell him to stop?
Don't try to use us.
Or aunties, should I tell him? Sorry, aunties, it's so hard. Please help me.
Yeah.
The podcast is the new mixtape, innit?
Who wants to tell him?
Can she put him in touch with us? That's the first thing.
No.
Bless you.
Thank you.
No. I actually do want to see the pod though.
So do
so
I.
please send us a link because I want to watch it.
I want to watch it.
No.
Are we going to help?
No.
No.
No. She's asking, our niece is asking for help.
She said they're talking about sex and women they find hot or not, smash or pass. So, sorry, what are we supporting? What are we trying to improve here?
This is
ridiculous.
This is the man that said they need some big man voices on there.
No, thank you. We don't
You like
need
us, but you
another
don't. Yeah.
podcast like that. We absolutely don't.
And you're
Put
grown.
it down.
You like from the jungle days, that means you're roughly our age. If you was in the jungle days, that means you're in your mid to late 40s. And you shouldn't
Could
be
be in his 50s.
Could be in your 50s,
Yeah.
fam. It's enough, you know. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So,
And it takes a long time as well. It's like people
does.
think podding's all quick and easy.
Yeah.
Is that you see?
I'll just get a
he
mic.
put up one episode, and you're thinking you're going to be Joe Budden. He's been podding for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
For one, we've been going for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like it's not simple. You probably don't want a piece of this cake for real.
No,
Yeah.
and that's the part where you know it's the problem where everyone always says we were talking and then we thought, you know what, this is really funny, we should make a podcast. But it's not always the case. Sometimes you're just funny in your group. Delivering a podcast to the world, it's not easy.
It takes work.
It takes work.
You know, we don't just come here every week and sit down and start chatting.
Do you know the research
There's work that
and
goes
the work
into this and research.
and the preps and the conversations and the meetings that we have to have.
Listen, if you roll back the 4 years, you'll see where we were and
Yeah.
where we are now.
Right?
You know,
Right?
it's a big difference.
So like, if you're listening, bro, thank
If
you
you're
for
watching,
listening
thanks,
or
but no
watching.
thanks.
It takes time, and please shift your content a bit. It's not sexy having smash or pass conversations.
That's
Big
too old.
old
42,
uncles
yeah, you
talking
can't.
about smash or pass.
No.
And you're probably talking about some 20-year-old girls that you
There's
couldn't
that too.
get.
Please don't be a predator in your late age.
Yeah. You know what? Like, you're not good at it.
Oh,
I'm saying this on behalf of your daughter. You're not good. Stop
Yeah.
it. You're welcome.
I hope you don't. No, don't tell her off. I
Yeah.
don't ground her.
No.
She's just
Maybe just do something and send it to your, put it in the group chat.
yeah.
tell your daddy.
Hopefully that helps, baby girl. Thank you for putting him on though. Has he got any single friends? Not like him though.
I don't want his
Why
friends.
would you want
Smash
that?
up.
No, no, I said not like him though. I caveated.
No.
Oh, good grief.
You're disappointing me on your choices.
Oh, I said not like him. Not like us. All right, guys, thank you so much. That has been Your Aunties Could Never. Don't forget to sign up to our YouTube membership because it costs how much?
$1.99?
Just $1.99.
50p a week.
Cheaper than a bag of chips.
Darling.
Darling.
And guys, we like wonderful reviews and we only accept
5 stars and 5 stars only. If it's not 5 stars, we don't want it.
return to
Bye.
sender.
Bye
Um,
now.
Guys, we'll be back. Take care.
See you next week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.